Good afternoon. Welcome to a scene for the Living World of Darkness. Changeling 20th Anniversary Edition. A New Hope. Um, in this scene, we are going to focus in on Donna, who is currently at a rather cute little tea shop that she's found, run by mortals, um, in the Grey World. And it's in Queens, specifically in Queens, for reasons. Um, and she is actually arriving early, obviously, because this is her little soiree. And she's arriving early, probably with Alice with her, I'm going to guess, and both of her owls. Um, so one on each shoulder, and she's dressed in basically a nice dress. She's actually wearing heels for once, although not gonna lie, there are flats in her bag that she's carrying for later. Um, and yeah, she has actually put her hair up. She's trying to look a little bit more proper for this particular situation. Um, but yeah. So she is heading inside this this tea room that she's has rented for a few hours this afternoon. And she'll just kind of walk directly up to the counter because she has to kind of let them know that she's here with Alice next to her.
You come to the counter and basically they welcome you very nicely. This is like a up and coming new shop that needs people like you to hire and buy stuff inside. Um,
Hmm.
they immediately like come to the back room, like show at least like after you requested. And they prepared a room. There's a lot of tea inside already, like you talked.
Yeah, she wanted there
Uh,
to be a variety of it, and obviously there needs to be, some sweet things to go with it.
exactly. There's a lot of sweet stuff. Uh, then they like give you say everything. The door opens and you see Baroness in in a way where like she has this hoodie.
A hoodie?
Yeah,
Okay, that's
along with
different.
the issue
Oh,
Harold,
because it's secretive. Got it. Yes,
who also has a hoodie.
fair enough. Yeah,
But
Dona wasn't
Donna
hiding
and
her going there, but that's
Mhm.
fine. She lives in Queens. People won't be shocked she's out and about doing things.
Christy, can you give me 2 seconds because my nose is bleeding for some dumb reason.
Oh, please go take care of
Yeah,
it.
be right back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm back. I have no idea why my nose is bleeding, but
Sometimes the dry weather, like in the winter, will do it.
yeah. But they will come with their like weird hoodies where they hide themselves a bit.
Hmm.
Uh, and they both nod to Donna. Um,
Yeah, I mean, Donna will go up to greet them. I'm assuming we're in the back room at this point, right?
they arrive like you saw them through the door, and they arrive and uh, to masquerade this as like a normal meeting. They act like old friends. One by one, everyone kisses each other their cheeks and basically talking about random things like, "Hey, have you heard about this banker in New York?" Or
Or the Kardashians.
Like Kardashians. We watched the last episode of You in Netflix.
Oh,
Um,
jeez.
or like,
As we all act like airheads. Got it.
yeah, like everyone is like talking casually.
Yeah,
When
because there
you
are mortals around still, too.
Mhm.
So,
And after,
yeah.
go on.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
The Baroness actually, Sirius asks Donna, "I did watch You. I actually find it quite thrilling. I really like the character Paco, the little kid in the TV series."
You know, I've totally seen every single episode of that. You should
Um,
tell me more.
you should watch it. You would lose the magic of
The
the
magic.
show.
Well, I love losing magic. It's best when everything is completely banal, of course.
The issue tries to do a small talk with Aleph, but Aleph, in a very Aleph fashion, is very bad at small talks.
Donna will kind of nudge him because they've had this discussion that he needs to try to be a little bit more out, at
Well,
least with people of his house, and that's who these people are.
he does like
At,
try, but
at least make an effort.
it's a long effort. It is going to be a long effort. Um,
That's
and
fine.
when humans leave, actually, the issue will be the one who says, "It's been a long time since we actually met as a house. It was a very good idea, Dame."
Thank you, Dame. I appreciate the that you think so. I I believe there may be things to discuss. So, and it never hurts to check in with the situation of everything around us.
I agree. The Not that long after Maven arrives, immediately everyone, like surely including you, everyone gets up,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
and she also was wearing a hoodie.
Was he too? Because he's kind of
Yeah,
obvious.
yeah, he does.
Fair. Yeah, Donna will walk up first as the quote host of this scenario. You know, like normally the Baroness she would let go first, but this she's the host,
Mm-hmm.
so she'll walk up first, just maybe just a step ahead of the Baroness, not a lot because she's not, she's not trying to be like that,
Mm-hmm.
and she'll just say, "Greetings, Your Excellency. I'm glad you can make it."
Greetings, Donna. It is very good to be here. I'm very happy to be met as a house. It's been a long time. The war and many things have taken my attention. It is sad. It should have been me who called this meeting, but I'm happy that you did.
Yes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have quite a few types of tea up here and various pastries. If you all would tell me what you'd like, I'd be happy to serve you. Because she didn't want any extra help in here, if you recall. So she's planning to serve everybody else because that seems to be the best privacy thing.
It's completely okay. My Cassiver here can do this. He is serving our house. It's his duty to serve.
I would happily welcome his help. As she smiles to Maven.
Mhm. The Cassiver, the troll, nods. Maven sits, and rest of the people sits as well at this tea.
Yeah, and she will walk over and then she'll kind of organize things onto trays and I mean the cups and plates and all that are all out, but she'll move things over so that it's easier to serve things to people, like he can do the actual serving, but she's still going to organize everything and carry some of the stuff over, because like she said she would accept his help. She's still yeah,
Mhm.
this is her plan for the moment. She's perfectly happy to help people, so it's fine.
Once the teas are given, I presume like actually I don't want to presume. How do you serve it? Like who do you give the tea first?
We start with the countess and then the baroness. We were going to go in order according to rank,
Okay.
excluding myself, because I will serve myself and he will probably serve himself.
Mhm. Once everyone sits, Maven looks at Donna to have this meeting, or maybe do the opening talk or whatever she wishes to do after everything is served. There will
Yeah,
be some chit chat, but like it was maybe mainly more about the episode of like the sixth episode of You.
because Amachan has recently seen that.
Exactly. You should watch it
Figured.
as well. It's insane.
It's cool. Yeah, no, and she's has like a little like a pastry in front of her that she's nibbling at a little bit. But just after a couple of minutes, she'll just be like, "So I thought maybe we could update each other on the comings and the goings that may be important to all of us. I thought that would be a good beginning because I'm sure there's plenty of business to discuss, but there's also just the fact that we don't get to see each other as often as perhaps we should."
The Carol immediately says, "Agreed. There is a lot of things that we should discuss. Maybe I can start to tell about the things I hear."
By all means, Dave.
The My purpose in the city is to remain unknown and serve those who our house deems as a danger. This mission was given to me by our old count, Count Theron. He deemed Sir Eoghan Longwalk after Vaughn as a danger, as he was a bit of a dangerous man who dabbles in poison. And Count Theron never trusted my kit's tendencies of being hot-headed. The Eoghan is unhappy with Flaming Falcon. He gathers people, unseelie nobles of all kind, from many other places. He talks to Sir Justin and Sir Ryan of House Leal. He states a lot that he doesn't enjoy the new Baron and the Baroness, as they brought many changes to Manhattan. The He didn't like Sir Riders and Baron Hamilton's and Countess Maven's new liberal politics. where they have implemented new things to regarding commoners and taking care of them. Is I feel that he felt that it should have been him who was the Baron himself. It should have been him who should have been the Baron, which I informed our Countess and our Baroness when I first heard it.
Interesting. I've only heard of him as a bit of a dissident. You describe him as more of a threat.
Sirius basically says he is a discontent noble who is a bit like Sir Ryder. He does nothing and expects everyone to give him respect. At least Sir Ryder did things time to time.
Sir Ryder earned his rank because he did a lot of things.
Yes, he did a lot of things, including butchering 3 changelings in Jersey.
That's what I hear.
That put a lot of pressure on me because I used to be her Baroness, but I wasn't. It was Sir Baron Alexander after some time. I'm actually quite relieved that we made that change because I didn't want that to stain on my name.
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, perhaps, it seems to be a moot point at this point since he's moved quite clearly.
The Countess Maven actually says he had to be gone. The Jersey didn't want him around, and it was some sort of deal I had to agree. But I created him a new place under a Duchess in the Kingdom of Apples. There's only one unseelie Duchess in Kingdom of Apples, and who's Allele, of course. She is it is going to be a good place for him. He will look after him, and he will do his antics there.
Well, when he left, he did tell me where he was going, and he seems content.
Cirrus says, all I'm saying that in the future we should choose our allies more carefully. There's a lot of people who's going around killing individuals and putting hats on spikes. It does makes us look bad.
I
Roll me perception empathy.
Oh, I'm figuring Maven's about to be mad. Yeah. Give me a sec. I'm rolling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Cirrus is extremely bold.
Yeah, it was definitely not the gentle method that she and Donna had discussed.
But her wording didn't accuse Maven.
The wording didn't, but there's just a definite implication. Um, yeah, no, Donna's just going to kind of be silent for a moment, and if nobody else says anything in that 10 seconds, she'll she'll kind of speak up at that point and just be like, that is among the problems that are out there. Yes. We do need to keep an eye on how things make our house look. But certainly there are other issues as well.
Cheryl says people are talking.
What do they say?
They're not happy about Sir Ryder or Morrigan, Knight Commander.
Okay, Donna feels a little more relieved now because apparently she also agrees with them, at least with what she's saying the people say.
Mhm. Maven says, we came to this subject quite fastly regarding the Morrigan, but I have to say she gets results, and the war is going in a way that will be faster than I presumed that it would lead with Jared. The We have found another freehold recently, and we are going to attack it. But this
May I ask,
Morrigan is going to let an attack.
who you're speaking of?
I'm speaking with I'm speaking about Morrigan. She found another freehold, as I said.
Yes, but I thought you said a freeholder, so that meant that you found the freehold.
No, no,
You
no.
the person who had
We
it.
don't know the person yet, but we found a freehold. It is a recent news, and we think it's one of those individuals under the Sigwald who runs the freehold. This one is quite like a stronghold.
Like a what?
A stronghold.
Is it? I've heard a story from one of my people that his motley once controlled a mining freehold there. I'm looking to help him get that back.
There were at least 5 or 6 freeholds in the area. We captured one of them, but we know the location of 2. One of them is not very important, as it's outside of like it is at the very deep end. We're
So,
not there to attack it yet, but stronghold is in front of us. It will open new ways to attack.
I see your point of what you're saying about Morgan. But the issue here, I think, is that we have more to think of than just the speed of the war. It needs to be done the right way as well, because we have to look at everything going on around us. And if you think that the Gwydians aren't looking for some way to come back at us after we took the county from them, then you're wrong. I think we need to look at the bigger picture on this one. That and the fact it just makes, if we're doing this, then what is the difference between us and them? They're just going to one up us. And trust me, they can one up us.
I I don't like when someone tells what is our difference than them. It is everyone knows our difference in them. The difference isn't about, well, we do that, we do this. There are unseelie houses who has legends of their enemies put on spikes. This is maybe not the way of our house, but certainly not House Alil. And Baroness Rudis would know this better than I am, as she is married to one.
Donna looks at her.
Sirius says it is true that they are known as the Winter Kings, and Winter has many applications. Winter has many different views. It is known as a cold place, but also as a harsh place. I know that Carol says, I know that the Unseelie nobles in Manhattan, they don't seem to care about that much about what they are doing, what Morgan is doing. Justin and Ryan can't care less about what is going on.
It's not in their face.
They I know that there's another unseelie noble in Staten Island, Sir Abel of House Asen. He also speaks proudly of Morgan. While we state this, I have spies everywhere. She doesn't say spies, sorry. I have friends everywhere who whispers things to me, except Bronx. And the people of Queens are very happy with Morgan. They do this. They do think it's the Tulane deserve what they're getting.
That's true. Many of them do. In fact, I would even say most of them do. But they're not seeing the bigger picture either. The worse we make this war, the worse they're going to make it. And you say, Countess, as she, looks to Maven,
Mhm.
you say that everybody knows the difference between us and them. Well, I've been studying them. I think there's a very good chance that I know more about them than most. And, well, the major difference between us and them is that, we have Seelie and unseelie natures that we try to live in balance with, or at least most of us try to live in balance with. They don't. They
Then
have
let
some.
me correct myself. Don't say that what is our difference in them, because you know the answer that we are not them. Calling someone like Tulane, like Terry did in the meeting, county at court, is disrespectful.
That's true. And I don't mean to call anybody Thelaine at this point. I'm just saying that our differences should be a lot more obvious to people who maybe don't have the level of knowledge that
Our
some of us have.
differences is quite clear. Anyone who reads a book knows about these monsters.
It takes a little more than that because trust me, I searched Terranar and could only find the most basic information.
Well, all they need to do is to talk to someone from Queens and to hear about what happened in the massacre that you were in.
Yes.
We can't have
Yes.
both ways. I understand that this little tea ceremony here is basically about talking about Morgan. But Morgan is a useful tool, and she is winning us this war.
There are other ways to win this war.
You would rather have people die
People are
in an
dying anyway.
honorable way. Yes, they're dying less thanks to Morgan.
So you don't see that basically they're one-upping us every time we put heads on pikes, they put way more heads on pikes.
They were gonna do this anyway.
Doesn't mean we have to be the ones to start it,
We
Your
don't.
Excellency.
No, it's not about who starts it. It's about who wins the war, and we are winning the war at the moment. And who starts what is history is going to be written by the victors, and we're going to win this. And we're going to say it was them who started it. If it wasn't for Terry, I was already going to state that anyway. If that Puka could have stopped her big loud mouth, it was going to be done that way anyway. The I understand that we're a Sealy house, and I understand that there is a lot of Sealy among us at the moment. But it doesn't mean that this our house accepts both natures, and in the end, people will be more happy if they have their brothers and sisters and friends around them other than their dead memories. Most people doesn't know what they want, and they want this. If you ask them this question, do you want your brother to be around or do you want to be honorable? The 99% of the time, the answer you're going to receive is, I want my brother around me.
So then, what would you say about the fact that we do have appearances to keep up as a house? We're already seen as questionable by everybody. We're see I've been confronted with the fact that it was our idea for the Night of Iron Knives so many times recently. I've heard at least 3 people mention it to me.
Who said it?
A variety of people. It doesn't matter. My point is, we have a reputation. So why should we make it worse? Why can't we be the bigger people? Why can't we do this in a more honorable fashion? Actual fights and fighting and
As I said, honor costs lives, Donna. I don't understand. You are from Queens and you have seen people suffer from more than four of us here in this room. So why do you want your people to suffer more when there is an individual who's doing what you wanted from the beginning?
because this isn't right. This isn't right, Your Excellency.
No, it is right. It is just not the way you want it to have.
Well, I mean, among other things, we're getting shorted on information because we're just killing them straight out.
Morrigan knows the information she needs. She gets it from the many things that she has.
I'm not saying she doesn't have any information. I'm saying she might have had other information. But the problem is that she never had the chance because we simply cut off heads.
What is there to be done about Tulane other than killing them? Says Carol.
I didn't say they shouldn't die at all. I'm saying that we should have at least tried getting information from the rest of the people there, not just the only important one that they wanted.
So what if they don't want to give any information?
Then they get killed, but it doesn't have to be in front of everybody, which again helps with appearances. What they don't see won't concern them as much.
Then I will tell Morrigan. Just don't do it in front of everyone.
Dona will kind of glance to the Baroness.
I think what my what our dame is trying to say, Countess, is that the as much as we accept unseelie natures, we have appearances, and we kept this appearance better than anyone for a long time. Problems. We need to think about the long enemy. When I say enemy, she doesn't say enemy. She says rivals, because just because we handled or you have handled the Sir Jarek, it doesn't mean he doesn't still have power. There's a lot of individuals who still believes in the Flaming Falcon. Your knight has put them stay at the back, and they still made sure Sir Ryder is gone. It was Sir Jarek who did the Sir Ryder, who find out about Sir Ryder. And Hoover looked bad already by sporting him. Because as much as we stated that there is a misunderstanding, people in Jersey is talking. So does the Common Rights Society. There's a lot of discontent among the commoners in nobility. You have always done the thing, the kept appearances yourself. And if people wants to die honorably, it is their choice. You can't have this choice from them. Therefore, I have to say I agree with Dame Donna that the Knight Commander has to change to someone more honorable, someone that we know who is a capable leader and a commander, like Baron Alexander or my husband. Donna, roll me perception empathy.
I have an idea on this one actually, but yeah, I will. 1.
She doesn't seem to be wanting the husband to be taking the position.
Yeah, yeah. Donna has an idea why she would have brought him up.
Carol, what do you say? I agree that the Knight Commander has his way, has her ways. I'm conflicted. I rather less people die and the Tulane suffers, but I also think that the appearances needs to be kept. Our legacy in this realm is to be a new hope. Therefore,
And
we should be the new hope to this lands and not the questionable individuals.
and Countess Maven, I actually remember you telling me something like that more than once. That to do what I needed to do, but to basically to keep it quiet. Be quiet, but do what needs done. This is not being quiet about it.
Sadly, I have been trying to do what I said and what I preached. I never supported Knight Commander in a public forum. Whenever someone said that she is doing certain things, I basically stated that it will be researched and basically waited people to forget about things. If this house or my house is willingly wanting me to make this change by a majority, therefore I will have to accept this. But there is one thing that I want to say: the stronghold is very powerful. Let's give this more. Let's have Morgan to handle the stronghold first, and then let's have the change. Would that be acceptable?
Well, first of all, just because Aleph hasn't spoken, she's going
Mhm.
to glance at Aleph to see if he looks like he agrees with everybody else.
Well, it just seems to be like whatever, but not whatever, but like
Okay,
he's
well,
happy being silent
yeah, he usually is.
because, like,
Um,
even if he says no, I support Countess Maven, it doesn't matter because
the 3 people of other
yeah,
of higher rank have
yeah.
already not. Yeah,
Mhm.
Donna will kind of she'll give this some thought for a second. I'm assuming the others are probably doing something similar.
The series kind of looks at Donna like you come eye to eye for like a split second.
Hmm.
Carol says, I have no issue with this. I understand that the stronghold is known by Morgan more than the Baron Alexander or Baron Hamilton or any other candidate that we wish to put in this position.
Um, yeah, Donna will just be like, I I can see where this would be bad timing to change right before an assault. So I too am okay with this. I would ask that you put her under orders to keep the heads on pikes to a minimum, though. I understand she does one or two at this point because she needs to keep face as well.
After this moment, there will be minimum amount of hats and spikes.
She nods. But I do see where it makes sense to let her finish what she started. And she'll kind of glance to the Baroness, hoping that the Baroness can live with this as well.
I don't mind this issue, but hopefully the assault will be done quickly. Yes. Well, we talked about the issue at hand.
There
Then
are
it
other
was
things, of course.
the carol was speaking, and the carol nods. I was done actually. I don't have anything else to say. Then Maven looks at Donna.
Well, the other day, Aleph actually, Squire Aleph, she would say proper at this point. Squire Aleph actually presented me with an idea that I thought was a rather good one. I thought perhaps he could bring it up and see what we thought.
I thank you, then Donna. I thought that the in the war front we don't have a very we don't have a presence as a warrior. We have Dame Donna and myself and Queens, but I am not. While I'm a troll, I'm not a warrior. I'm more of a scholar. So same with Dame Donna. She's more of a scholar warrior, but she is helping Baron Alexander and the Baroness and Acilia. I think that we need someone who from House Eiluned to be at the middle in the war, who leads individuals and sports people,
A
basically
warrior.
a warrior. Maven, actually, the Carol says this is a very good idea. It would be good to have a warrior, especially if someone challenges us. The warrior can take our mental and respond to that challenge as well. I agree. I will look a couple of the candidates. There's a friend of mine from Massachusetts. Actually, Countess, I am sorry. I talked with Baron Alexander after I heard this idea from Aleph, and I actually informed him that there is a warrior who actually wishes to prove himself. Maven's eyes turn towards Circe. I have approached Baroness and Sylvia and Baron Alexander and informed that my brother would be very happy to join. He's a known sorcerer, a warrior of House Eiluned. I think he would be a great addition to this war. He is charismatic and led men before against Selene. Maven says, that is great news.
I'm not even going to roll empathy.
Yeah.
She was just outwitted by the Baroness. She's not going to like that much.
Mhm.
Do you think perhaps any other baronies might need such a thing? Someone else who might be able to add to our Military legend?
The Staten Island, Nathan says, has two knights. Queens has three knights at the moment. Brooklyn has two. Manhattan has three. Bronx has many. Basically, we can count every single member of House Gwydion from Bronx at this point. Even though the Brooklyn only has two Gwydions, I know that they have close connections. Uh, but to give a correct answer, the Bronx has two knights and have one very good squire.
Then it's possible that might be a good placement for your friend, Countess. Something for you
Where
to consider. In the Bronx, where you said that there were only two.
there's other places who only has two, like Staten Island and Brooklyn. And sadly, Bronx will not accept Eiluned.
Ah, I understand.
Damavand understands that when we arrive to a place, we implement things and we rule from the behind as best as we can. He doesn't want that.
How interesting.
He has Cartia for that job.
Just makes me wonder. I mean, there was someone who told me that there was a possibility that I could have ended up his seneschal if I was, well, if he had become count. And I didn't realize he was so not into Eilunids. So it's interesting to hear that point of view.
I'm curious who said that, says Carol. The seneschal part, I mean.
A source I trust. At least someone told me that they would suggest it.
There is no need for secrecy here, says Maven. Your old brothers and sisters here.
She nods. It was my uncle, the seneschal, former county seneschal.
I think that it would have been, says Maven, acceptable at the time because they were going to kick out Morgan anyway. And they needed
And offering me a place might have would have looked like a compromise.
exactly. Or me, she says with a smile.
Well, they did offer you an option as well, if you recall.
Mhm. It was Jarek who decided, who come up with that idea.
Well, it's just good to know of all the might have beens out there that, of course, this is a far better might have been than the other one was.
And we should just talk about the Manhattan and the situation in Manhattan, says Baroness Sears. And she starts talking about Manhattan for like half an hour about
Yeah.
everything that she has done with Hamilton. There's a lot of changes in Manhattan. A lot of changes. It is insane to see how they are building Manhattan to be this bulwark.
Are they trying to build like a community sort of thing where people feel like they belong and that kind of thing?
Yes, but also like they're training guards. They're creating connections between the unseelie. They're giving everything like they're basically giving commoners most of the things they want, and they're also like ironing out the problematic ones. They're keeping tight leash on their knights. Like basically, Sears says that the Hamilton is keeping a very tight leash on Justin and Ryan. Um,
What about Eohead? Isn't he still there?
yeah, Johan is there, and like he's also, of course, keeping a tight leash on him. They work with like these Uncle Charlie, the Red Cap group.
Hmm.
They're sending warriors, like Unseelie warriors, to the basically the queens. They're keeping Sir Portios, which is the advisor of Flaming Falcon, and actually, like the Sears talks highly of Portios. Basically, says that he actually comes with great ideas, and he does a lot of good things in Manhattan. One of the things that Portios come up with was Sir Lamble coming to Queens, and Sears talks highly of Lamble as well. He is a known bard, which is strange for an autumn she, but he makes people happy. And she talks about how Sir Lamble is not liked by Ryan, Justin, and Eoghan because he's basically a Seelie person. He's Seelie.
He's all kinds of Sealy.
Yeah, he's like very Seelie. Um, they talk about like how they, like she talks about how they try to delete the remnants of what Anna Sylvia has done in the past. And it is like Donna can see Sears and Hamilton.
They're a team.
They are such a team. They're a duo who works together, and the both Arcadian she is doing great. Hamilton is like a head editor in New York Times,
Hmm.
and the Anna Sylvia is like a high society persona. Um, they're like raising charity events for certain things that they do in what was the name of that? Like sporting commoners. Like let's say a commoner is opening a bar or a place. They basically like made sure that they gain a lot, so they're happy. And
Donna's basically taking notes, trying to in her
mhm.
head. Obviously, she wouldn't do it right in front, but if there's anything that sounds like it could work for Queens, she's on that. You know what I mean?
It's basically they're using like the Arcadian she usually like Donna knows this via her changeling lore. Arcadian she chooses usually rich and famous people to like not rich and powerful people to inhabit. They're using that they're using that a lot to aid and like Hamilton is according to what you hear is a very allele like allele. Like he's you don't see him a lot, but like he is confident, charming, and very to the point. He does what needs to be done. Cyrus keeps a very nice with the commoners by basically being the darling of the city, darling of the barony. And while Cyrus is very nice to the knights, Hamilton is keeping a very tight leash. Um, and it seems to be working.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of the impression she had already. But
Mhm.
again, she's not above borrowing someone else's ideas if it looks like it would be good in Queens, you know. But
It,
yeah, she'll listen and say polite things and really sound interested because she is.
it's like one of the things they say, like they sent Zach and Chad and Tad to the like the lore, um, those who are like And like one of the things that they immediately did, though, like when they sent Sir Ryder, they actually told Sir Ryder to not talk about like the Knight Commander and actively support her ideas. They're like, it seems like the Manhattan is like a very, like a for a city. When Anna Sylvia was around, Manhattan was just a barony. But like after that half an hour, you're kind of like slowly realizing that the strongest barony was like always Bronx. As much as they have like the least population,
Hmm.
they had this huge support from Jersey, and they were like very good. But like after what you heard from Sears, you're like in 2 years, if Jersey, like if like Manhattan goes this way, which not very possible because like there's always the things always change. But like you could have said like the Manhattan was like a second, but they were not a close second. But now they are a close second. They're like slowly becoming like a very close second, and not very distant second.
Well, this whole scenario honestly just suits Donna perfectly because you know how much she loves to see the potential and things really come to fruition. You know what I mean?
And like, can you roll me like a changeling roll, please?
Mm-hmm. In, intelligence, right?
Mm-hmm. This is some of the things Donna may not like actually. You have
One,
five
two,
successes.
three. It depends on if, yeah.
Yeah, you have five. This is book learning. Like you
Okay.
learn in the books that the Arcadian She is supported by the Dreaming, and along with the Autumn She. And
Mm-hmm.
this can be one of those points where like their rule is supported by the Dreaming, their story, because
Well, it's a good story.
they basically build this together, and they're like doing this very.
It's a very yin yang thing, and it's really nice. Donna really likes this whole balance thing.
And it's like what they it's like Sears is a traditional individual, so does Hamilton. But like one of the things about this, at least like their tradition, it is kind of working. They're like very distant from their commoners because they don't like Sears basically said Anna Sylvia was very friendly, and she always like throw parties, she hang around with like people and all that jazz. But like they stopped it. They basically made there's like a line between commoners and nobility. As much as like Anna Sylvia said there was a line, but there wasn't. That's what she says. Sears says because like she had favorites among her people, and while Sears also has favorites, she keeps it like under a guise, and it's like it's a very traditional. It becomes very traditional, but not like oh yeah we beat your type of tradition, but more like leadership wise, and like but a couple of the things Sears says reminds you of Alexander. Like how he always says like I do what needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. Yeah, I mean Donna will make appropriate comments as needed through this whole thing.
Mhm.
And she sounds very attentive. Honestly, she's paying a ton of attention, but she's not really going to say much other than that stuff because she's kind of waiting to see how Maven's going to react.
Maven uses her props where she can, but not says a lot of different things. But in the end, she actually asks, "What are we going to do? What are our plans, and what are the things we hear about the Flaming Falcon?" Lastly,
Donna looks at Maven, just kind of trying to gauge to see if she's actually trying to get Donna to speak up about her research.
you don't know, but like This is house meeting.
It is.
This is where things are talked, but it's up to you to share or not to share.
Yeah, yeah. No, I was just curious if that's what she was trying to get her to do. But okay, that's fine. If I can't tell, then Dona will actually give it give it 30 seconds to see if anyone speaks up first.
There is again what always was confusion. They do things, they don't like it, but then it's weird.
Who said this?
Basically, every single one of them, like they're
Okay.
confused about the Flaming Falcon. They're not happy, but they don't know how to approach.
Yeah. So Donna will kind of look up because this has been such a long-term project of hers.
Hmm.
Um, and she'll be like, well, at the risk of being first to speak, um, I've been trying to dig into them. One a bit of a research project, if you know what I mean. Because there's something going on, but it's just an instinct, and I can't prove anything. But I met with one of their sisters, who's, by the way, not a Gwydion or a Falcon, and I've heard a story that when her sister came, well, evidently the way they were just Gwydions, and then they ended up leaving into the dreaming. And when they came back, that's when the I'm sure you've all noticed the sort of weird feeling that people feel, that uncomfortable thing that, from what I've seen, unseelie people feel around them. That's when it started. So I think that might just be the moment that they did something in the dreaming, and that's what made them falcons, but it also made unseelies uncomfortable. I don't know what it is yet. It's been a long-term goal of mine to try to follow their path and see what I can find out, so if I can figure out what the problem is here. If it is a problem, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe my instincts are wrong. But I'm an owl. I trust my instincts. And since when has an Eiluned ever looked away from gathering information?
Maybe I already knew this and already
Hmm.
said this to Donna.
Yeah, Maven knew because
Hmm.
she told him. This is because Donna told her. But she's kind of looking at the others.
Sears is surprised and she says, I presume you talk about the Bruma, about the sister.
Absolutely not. I would never speak about her. I met with Autumny, Dame Autumny.
I would like to state that in the past, says Carol, there were moves made by individuals that did good and bad against the Flaming Falcons. I would like to state that the whenever something happens to a Gwydion's house, Gwydion responds as a house Gwydion. Especially the Flaming Falcons always have each other's back. We should stop, in my opinion, being divided and search for allies even more regarding this subject. And we shouldn't act on our own. I was surprised to see what happened in the Sir Jerig's celebration. I think we shouldn't just do things on our own again.
I do a lot of research on my own, and I don't think I should apologize for that. I feel that we all kind of do that. Um,
My words weren't just for one person, with all due respect. I didn't mean to
oh,
just say it was more onto everyone because I know that every single one of us, except maybe Alec, because I don't know if he does something, but we all try to do something about the Falcons. I know I did. I know Baroness Cirrus did. I know Countess Maven did, and I know that now you did as well. I think we should work more together, and we should look for allies.
if we all have the same goal, and of course we're family, it does make sense that we would, well, at least share information, right?
She nods, and Maven and Cirrus also nods to Carol's words. Aleph as well.
I would be happy to let you all know the results once I've gotten more results. And then we can decide what to do with the information, if it's anything we can use. Maybe they just made a deal with a true fae or something, you know? A lost one. Who knows?
They all nod.
But magic does come with a price, doesn't it? I mean, I might be quoting Once Upon a Time, but it's equally true in the dreaming.
Not all the time, but yes, time to time it does come with a price, says Aleph.
Donna smiles because she's glad that Alice woke up. And she'll just be like, well, that being the case, it makes a certain amount of sense that if that went down, then maybe the cost that they had to pay was actually that. You know, maybe that was the cost was that they would stand out to Unseelies.
If that's the case, says Maven, that is good for us, so we can actually handle this in a way that it needed to be done for a long time. But we can't speak about something we can't know.
Until we know that it's fact.
Yes.
Exactly. Which makes my little trip, um, I guess, a little bit more important now.
Agreed.
What did the two of you find since I've shared my information?
They basically state like a couple things that you already knew. Nothing more.
She nods.
I think meeting slowly comes to an end if you don't have anything to say.
No, no, that's fine. Donna's sort of curious if Maven's mad at her now.
Maven doesn't say anything, and actually, after some time, after the talk is over, she leaves
Mm-hmm.
via her car with the troll,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing happens at the moment. So, would you like to end the scene there?
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just end the scene with her paying the bill for the tea and things.
Okay. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.